It's time for a new way, a new set of ideas, a new leader, one you can trust, one who works for you, and above all, it's time for a new president.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Rand Paul, that's a video he put out in anticipation of his announcing that he's running for the presidency of the United States tomorrow. Hank Sheinkopf, president of Sheinkopf Communications and Democratic political consultant, Newsmax Contributor, is with us. And Hank, he'll be number 2 in the race.
Well, it's good. I mean, I think one of the things he did get right is it's time for a new president.
Yeah, well,
because
that's obvious.
The Constitution says you have to. That he was very, very correct on. The rest of it, a little shaky.
Unless he means it's time for a new president now and we need to impeach the current one, which I don't think he means.
Well, I don't think that's appropriate either. But anyway, so what's your question?
Question is, I mean, how do you think Rand Paul will do? They say that he might shy away to an extent from his libertarian, you know, beliefs and try to be more mainstream. Would that harm him, hurt him? Is it a good idea, bad idea?
Well, on the scale of wackiness, he's right up there at about 8 or 9. Now, he's got to dial back the wacky scale to get on the right-wing scale, which would bring him to about 7. And if he does that, he could possibly survive until South Carolina.
All right, so you don't think much of Rand Paul's chances?
I know.
What about
but he does have a very large following in states that are normatively Republican and normatively very conservative, like Texas.
All right, so what do you say to the story here that Jeb Bush listed himself as Hispanic on a voter registration form, and apparently it's not the first time something like that has been done. That's not a mistake you could make accidentally. I'm sorry.
Well, I think you have to be fair and find him a new optometrist. He needs those glasses repaired as quickly as possible because he's meditating.
He speaks Spanish. His wife is...
Me llamo Bushel. I mean, come here, break.
His wife was born in Mexico.
Yes.
But for 2 years in his 20s, he lived in Venezuela. Okay. But you're not... That doesn't make you Hispanic.
Well, I mean, if you would consider that probably if President Chavez was still alive and he's living in Miami, he would be a Miamilito.
All right, but does this hurt him in any way?
It makes him look silly. We're looking for silly things. People looking silly. The Republicans look silly, and they're facing Senator Clinton, who looks not silly, but...
Is that what she's called these days, Senator Clinton?
Well, I call her Senator. I mean, she was Secretary.
Madam Secretary.
It's too complicated.
Can't we just call her Grandma? That's what she really wants to be called. Because now they're saying she's changing her image. It's going to be less about her and more about. Remember the listening tour when she ran for the New York Senate?
Sure, I do.
It's kind of like she's going to be going back because she is a woman of the people. She's going to be going back to the people.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yes.
I'm so shocked.
Watch you see the tongue.
I'm shocked. Call the sarcasm police at once.
Yes. No, I mean, come on. So this is the strategy they're talking about now.
Is it a good strategy? Is the question you're asking?
Yeah, kind of. Can you interpret my questions, or do I have to ask everyone?
I've been living with psychotic people all my life. I know exactly what you're saying. Seriously, now, folks. But I'm bummed. In your case, is this a good strategy? It's better than no strategy.
That's been the question for the past 3 minutes.
It's better than no strategy. And the truth is, keeping Democrats out of the race is a real strategy right now by announcing these things that have, really no news. But the press corps is so involved in minutiae of campaigns rather than long-term issues that they just want to cover the horse race.
Let's talk about the religious freedom bills. Sure. That I want you to hear what Rick Santorum said. Now, first of all, you think...
Do I really have to hear what Rick Santorum said?
You think that a baker should be forced to bake the cake for a gay wedding?
I think that he probably not should. I mean, why wouldn't he do it?
Because if it's a religious belief, they don't want to participate in a gay wedding, then why should they be forced to?
I think there's a big difference here. Freedom of religion indicates that you are not required to do certain things, or you're allowed to do other things. You can practice your religion, i.e., if a rabbi does not want to perform a gay ceremony, why should he be forced to? A priest or a minister. But a baker, it's very different. He's not. That's different.
Well,
for some reason,
speaks to the religious freedom of the individual. Listen to what Rick Santorum said.
It's a matter of accommodation. Tolerance is a two-way street. If you're a print shop and you are a gay man, should you be forced to print God hates fags for the Westboro Baptist Church because they hold those signs up? Should you be forced to do? Should the government? And this is really the case here. Should the government force you to do that? And that's what these cases are all about. This is about the government coming in and saying, no, we're going to make you do this. And this is where I think we just need some space to say, Let's have
Okay,
some
we get
tolerance
the
and
idea.
be a
Should they
two-way
be made-
street.
Should the gay man be made to print those signs?
Listen, I'm not as smart as everybody else, and I don't have a flashpoint response, but I will tell you the whole thing reminds me of discrimination per se.
So, but do you agree with Santorum or not? Should the gay man be forced to print the signs for the Westboro Church, Baptist Church? That
Forced,
say,
if he chooses to take the business, he has to do the work.
chooses to take the business, but you
Right.
have a right to say no.
You're not discriminating against someone in housing or accommodations.
That, I think Rick Santorum changed his mind. Maybe I'm overstating it. Hank Sheinkopf, thank you very much. We're coming back, folks. Don't you go away.